Welcome back to Python in a Minute. In today's special episode, we'll take a brief look at a variety of Python string methods, and each method will be explained with an example for more clarity. Actually, all of these methods have been covered separately in more details in our previous videos. And to use most of these methods, simply you can use the string variable, a dot, name of the variable, and the parentheses. And if the method has some argument, you can use it inside the parentheses. Let's get started. First up, we have a capitalize method. This method returns a copy of a string with its first character capitalized and the rest lowercase. So it does not capitalize all letters of the string. Let me run the first example. Here we have hello with capital H and the rest of the string with lowercase. Next, we have lower method. This method converts all characters in the string to lowercase. Here we have hello with capital H and E and the rest of the letters lowercase. If I run this method with this example, you can see all characters in this string converted to the lowercase. Following closely is a case fold. This method is similar to lower, but it's more aggressive than in terms of a caseless matching. So its application is when case sensitivity is important for us. It also converts all characters to lowercase, and it's particularly useful in international string compressions. Here you can see hello all converted to the lowercase, but here if we had a special character that we have in other languages, it also be converted to the caseless matching. Moving on, we have split method. This method is very important, and it splits string in the with the specific separator. Its default separator is space, which we explicitly mentioned inside the parentheses. Also, we can change this character as a desired separator in this method. And if I run this, you can see it separates our input string with space into two elements of the list. Actually, it returns a list with splitted words inside it. Similarly, we have rsplit method, which split the string from the right side by the specified separator. It's useful when you want to control the number of splits from the end of the string. Actually, also in the split method, we can specify the number of split and number of words that we want to split. But when we want to split this, when we want to apply this limitation from the right hand side, we can use rsplit method, the separator, and the number of split that we want to use. Now let me first comment the second one. If we run this, you can see it has a single split and the rest of the string is at the other element. But if I comment this one and change it to the 3 as a limitation of the separator, you can see 3 words splitted by space, and the rest of the string is another element in the list. Next, split lines method that split the string at line breaks. This is particularly handy for multi-line string usage. Here you can see we have a string hello new line word, and split line and split this string with the new line by default. And if I run this, you can see it's splitted by hello and word. And then we have count method. The count method counts the number of non-overlapping occurrence of a substring in the string, and we simply type our string and specify the substring or character that we want to call in our input string in the parentheses. Here we want to count number of L's in hello world string, and if I run this, you can see it returns true, which it's obvious that we have 3L in hello world string. Next, we have replace method, which returns a copy of a string with all occurrence of substring replaced by the new string. This is also actually one of the important methods in string manipulation. Here, the first argument of the replace is our old string and the old substring actually, and the next one is new substring. So actually we are saying that take the text variable, replace it there with word where you saw it in our string, and if I run this, you can see hello world is converted to the hello there. Next, we have expand tabs method. This method returns a copy of a string where all tab characters are replaced by the space using a specified tab size. Here we have \t, which represents the tab character inside the string, and we want to replace all the tabs in our string with space. Here we set to the Python, replace it with for space. This is the argument of the expand tabs method, and if I run this, you can see tab is replaced with the for spaces. Then we have an important method, encode method. The encode method, with the encode method, you can encode the string using specific encoding. This is useful for handling different characters encoding in Python. Its default format also is UTF-8, and if I run this, you can see it's converted to UTF-8 format, which this be at the beginning of the string indicate that. Then we have another important method, which is find method, and with the help of this method, we can return the lowest index of the string where the substring is found. It's important to know that if it's not found, the substring not found in the string, it returns -1. Here we have hello world, and we have two words in the string. You can see it returns the first occurrence of the substring found in the input string, and if I run this, you can see it returns 6 because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 index is the initial index of the word substring in our input string. More than that, we have our find method, which this method is very similar to find, but it returns the highest index where the substring is found. So we expect that it returns the index of this word because it starts to search from the right hand side. If I run this, you can see in contrast to the previous one, which returns 6, it returns 22, which is the initial index of the word from the right hand side. Additionally, we have index method. The index method works like find method when looking for a substring, but it raises value error if the substring not found. So it's the exact difference between index method and find method is that when substring is not found, the index method returns error and the find method returns -1. Here, like previous one, it returns 6 because this is the first index of this substring word in our input string. And similar to the rfind, we have rindex, which returns the highest index where the substring is found. So we expect to returns the initial index of word here, which returns 22. But in this example, you can see the exact difference between find and index. If I run this in our input string, we don't have Python, and when we search for that, the find method returns -1, and the index method causes an error when it doesn't find the substring. Then we have a start with method, which this method checks if the string starts with a specific prefix or not. Here we look for if the string starts with hello or not, and we can see the string does start with hello, and if we run this you can see the start with method returns true. And similarly we have endwise method which checks if the string ends with a specific suffix or not. Here we are looking for word at the end of the string, and we expect to return true because the string ends with word. Then we have isAllNum method, and this method returns true if all characters in the string is alphanumeric. Alphanumeric includes all alphabetic characters and the numbers. Here we have question marks, so we expect for the second example it returns false because it's not alphanumeric character, but the first example, first string, includes only numbers and alphabetic characters. You can see at the output we have true for the first example and false for the next example. Then we have isAlpha method, and this method returns true if characters in the string is all alphabetic, so numbers are not allowed in this method. The first example, hello, includes only alphabetic characters, but the second one includes a numeric character at the end, so we expect to return false. You can see the output of first example is true and the next example is false because of this single character. Then we have isASCII character. It returns true if the string is empty or all characters are ASCII. ASCII range includes special characters, numbers, and alphabetic characters. Here you can see in the second example we have an emoji which is not ASCII character, considered as ASCII character. So as a result, the hello considered ASCII and it returns true. And this because of this emoji, the result of second compression is false. Then we have three important methods, are very similar but slightly works different in specific characters. We have isDecimal, isDigit, and isNumeric methods. Here, firstly, for the isDecimal method, this method checks if all characters in the string are decimals or not. Decimals actually are the numbers in base of 10 that we use in that base. But the isDigit method checks if all are digits or not. Digits also include some superscript numbers in Python. And finally, we have isNumeric method, which this method returns true if all characters in the string are numeric format, and these numerics also include some fractions or Roman numbers. Here at the first example, we have simple numeric string, which is 234, and we expect all these methods return true because these characters are also decimal, also digit, and also numerics. Let me run. You can see at the output all returns true. But here we have a string example of superscript characters, and we expect to isDecimal returns false because it's not numbers in base of 10. And then we have fractions. This fraction is not considered as a digit or decimal, so only isNumeric method would returns true for this example. You can see the first two outputs are false and next is true. Then we have isIdentifier method, and this method checks if the string is a valid Python identifier or not. If it's true, we can use it as a naming of variable, class, methods, etc. If not, it's not allowed. Here we have variable 1, and it's totally okay for Python naming. But for the next one, because it starts with a digit, it's not a valid identifier for Python. And if I run this, you can see the first one, the isIdentifier method returns true, and the next one returns false. Then we have isTitle method. This method returns true if all string is a title cased string. Title cased string is that each word starts with a capital letter, and if I run this example, it returns true because both words hello and word start with capital letters. Then we have isUpper method. IsUpper method checks if all cased characters in the string is uppercase or not. So even if one of the string is one of the characters is in the lowercase, it returns false. So the first one is all upper and the next one is not all upper. It's only start with the uppercase. So for the first example, isUpper method returns true, and for the next example, because the rest of the word is in the lowercase, it returns false. Similarly, we have isLower method. It checks if all cased characters in the string are lowercase or not. Our first example is all lowercase, but next one is not. So the first output is true and the next one is false. Then we have method which name is printable, and it returns true if all characters in the string are printable or the string is empty. Here this \n is a empty string, and it's not totally empty because we have other words beside that. So for this one, because of this character, is printable method returns false, but for the first one, all characters are printable, so it returns true. You can see at the output. Then we have isSpace method in Python. isSpace check if there is only whitespace character in the string or not, and we consider a simple space as a whitespace character, \n which is a new line character, and \d as a tab character. All these are whitespace character, so isSpace method for all of them returns true. The next method is format method, which is one of useful methods in Python. This method is used for string formatting, and we use brackets inside the string, then dot, format, and what we wrote in the format parentheses, it's replaced with the brackets. Actually, also we can use the name of the variable here, and we define variable before the defining the string. And if we run this, you can see the word replaced with the brackets inside the string. Similar to the format method, we have format_map method in Python, and this method actually perform a string formatting using a mapping, and here we have a dictionary variable to this mapping variable, let's say, and we are saying that when you see a name inside brackets formatted to the word, and we expect to replace the word in brackets inside the print function. If I run this, you can see the word replaced to brackets, and finally at the output we have hello world. Then we have join method in Python, and this method concatenates the elements of an iterable object with the string as a separator. Here we are saying that we have a list with elements hello and word. We are saying that concatenate these elements with comma and space and print it at the output, so you can see the first element, the separator, and the next element. Next we have the center method, and this method in Python helps us to return a centered string of the specified width, and with the help of this method we are saying that at the output we want a string with length 11, and if the input string length is less than 11, fill the other characters by hyphen. And if I run this, you can see it put the hello at the middle of the string and other characters are filled with hyphen. Then similar to that we have ljust method, left justifying, but the difference is that it puts the input string at the left side of the output string. So instead of middle of that, it's at the left part, and other characters filled with hyphen. Similar to that, we are expecting rjust method, and this is right justifying, and so we expect the hello world is at the right hand side of the output and other characters filled by hyphen. Then we have lstrip method. In this method, actually we are saying to Python that remove a specific character at the starting, at the beginning of the string. So its default character is space. As a result, we expect to remove these spaces at the beginning of the hello string. So you can see at the output we don't have those spaces. Similar to that, we have rstrip method, which removes the space at the end of the string. And if I run this, you can see at the output we don't have those space characters. It's as I mentioned, it's default format, and we can also specify another characters to remove it. Here, for example, we have some question marks, and also at the end some question marks. And if I specify here the question marks, you can see the end, because it's rstrip, it's remove the end question marks of this method. Then we have another important method in Python, which is partition method, and with the help of this method, we can simply partition our input with the separator, and it returns the tuple which includes the element before the separator itself, and the element after separator. And this means if I run this, you can see at the output we have a tuple, hello, the separator, and the word. Similar to that, we have our partition, which is start to partition from the right hand side, so it's firstly partition with this. We expect a hello word as a first element, the separator as a second element, and the word as a third element. You can see again we have a tuple with 3 elements. And then as a for the method in strings, we have remove prefix method. This method returns a copy of the string with the specified prefix removed if present, and we are saying to this method that remove hello with a single space here, and at the output we have simply word. Similar to that we have remove suffix method, which remove from the end side, and we are saying that remove word with a space to the from the output. And at the output you can see we only have hello because we removed the suffix of the hello word. And that's a comprehensive look at various Python string methods. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned and happy coding.